Hello, and welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos Fathomless, a tabletop podcast set in the world of Fierlor. I'm your Dungeon Master Darby, and joining me as always are Mitch playing Neris, Jake playing the Fishman, Joe playing Alton, Laura playing Janice, Zoe playing Loren, and Eddie playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. Let's jump into it. So, where we last left off, the party had a discussion with Lumis, god of the moon, among other things, and spoke on many things, including the nature of animancy, the history of the Great Flight to an extent, the history of 𝗖𝗦𝗧, including its former name, shall we phrase it, of 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, and so many other things on the nature of their present predicament and potential future outcomes. They also drew the attention of a creature known as a 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, which had been previously just roaming around Loomis's lunar citadel before kind of floating towards the party as they spoke with Lumis. And the party then finished their discussions with Lumis and ventured back to their ship. And I forgot to mention anything about it, but as the last two people head back to the ship, being Loren and 𝗖𝗦𝗧, the 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 slowly just follows behind them. So back on the ship, what would folks like to do?
Well, let's check it on Alton currently.
Yes.
I guess first off, if you want to, Joe.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, a couple of moments after the first of you guys would have boarded the ship, Alton would have hear him coming over, he kind of peers his head out to kind of get a lay of the land, see what's going on. I guess you probably noticed he's changed his regular dark glasses to more like a goggles form, so you cannot see his eyes currently. And yeah, looking a bit shaky still, but he's gonna just kind of be frantically look you guys over. Oh fuck, is everyone okay? You're here. You got out of that all right?
Yes.
Did you get trapped in any packs or anything?
Oh, I don't think so. Not in any bad ones anyway.
Great. Fuck. What? This
Are you all right? You're not all right.
Insane.
He's not all right, is he? Janice says, looking at Neris and then looking back at Alton and then looking helplessly over at Fishman as we all sort of come back into the ship. That's his usual level of freaking out, right? Yes? No?
More than usual.
I think Alton can be forgiven for expressing themselves. We are indeed in space and we just met a god.
Yes, no, absolutely.
This is ridiculous. This is completely and totally fucked up. How is everyone so calm about this?
I mean, no, you're right. That is probably more of a normal response, isn't it? I personally have been thinking about it so hard my head feels like it might explode, and also try not to think about it in any way possible. So I suppose this is sort of just the general thing that's been going on, which I guess personally is probably not very normal or very healthy either. But considering the whole evil twin from the future thing that came to fuck up and personally torture me has sort of happened, I've just been trying to just take it on the chin, and I starting to realize that's not a healthy response, and it's probably not really projecting a very good vibe onto everyone here either. So my apologies, Alton. Yes, no, the screaming is very normal, and I will probably should be doing that more often as well. Because that was a god. That was a god we spoke to, was a normal human, right? It was no. I listen to messages on the waves, and I believe unwaveringly in that which lurks beneath the waves, but up here, we're in the sky right now. That's strange. That's really weird. You're right, in summary.
Yeah, we're just where they live, apparently. And he just had a right up chat with one of them. Great. This is wonderful. Who knows what is going to come of our futures now that we've gotten entangled in all of that? Did they put you on any missions or something? Are you under their service? What is going to happen? Our lives can never be the same again now, can they? And oh, fuck if we ever fail any of their expectations.
You will be...
He puts his hands back in his gripping at his hair, which has obviously already been doing a fair bit.
I don't know if it helps your current situation, but he was surprisingly unhelpful, and we did not enter into any pacts.
Yeah, no, I think
or
he's just
accept
more
any missions.
He was more just sort of an old guy that wanted a bit of a conversation, I think, really, at the end of the day.
But, was he happy with the conversation? Because...
Yeah, I think so.
It's like
I assume he was.
a
Otherwise
giant
just...
folk having a chat with an ant, sorry.
Yeah, could you say that line again?
It's like a giant folk having a chat with an ant. It's I don't know, if they're not happy about it, well, just stomp, they mean nothing to them. This is a lot, right? You guys, you seem, you're okay. It kind of looks everyone over.
Well, Neris is taken aback by that a little bit. I cannot speak for everyone, but I think everyone will be. I know myself. I don't really have much to do with the gods, but that was quite an experience. I will absolutely be thinking about this for quite some time, as I'm sure everyone will be as well. This is not... I know I'm the one that did all the signing up, but I did not sign up to meet a god personally. I did not know that is... I don't know how well you read the contract, but I did not put that in. This is all happening, and I don't know if any of us are really prepared or okay with everything that is happening. Look, in situations like that, personally, you're asked how we can all stay so calm. I found something else to focus on, and I focused on something, and that kept me calm, because I was not thinking about the situation as it was happening. Later, I will do nothing but think about the situation, and it will be incredibly traumatic and painful, but I will do that in my own time. So you're not alone.
Fair enough, but to know I'm in company freaking out about all this shit. Well, I just hope that... Oh fuck, I'm gonna have to see more of them too, possibly.
Well, we don't know that one for sure. Sorry.
Sorry.
I'll just stop. You can... Yep.
No, I was gonna change the subject, go for it, if you want.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we don't actually know if we're going to be seeing more of them. We don't know what's going on at all. Although I probably should raise before they come here, because I don't think... Okay, just really quickly, we definitely got confirmed that Galut used to not be like that, okay? So that's, the god knew it? That's not great. Just want to put it out there. That means that Exley, we pretty much got explicit confirmation that this Exley, the moon god called it, the moon god called him the champion of the Vain Shade. We've got an explicit confirmation that he's pretty much been horribly turning... Galut did not used to look like that. It was turned against its will, and then lost its mind. That's bad. Very quick summary of my current concerns. That's what's happening in Uncathere right now, with the whole vortex thing that we flew away to escape from. Anyway, food for thought, because Galut and Loren will be here in about a moment, but just wanted to raise that. We're all thinking the same thing, right? Not to alarm anyone, of course. I just sort of want to get over talking about it behind its back over quickly before it steps in that door, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, it seems to vibe with the English sort of term wanting to be talking to it, so yeah.
Well, I hope that made you feel better, Alton.
Yeah, absolutely peachy.
There is another matter we might want to talk about, as Fishman turns towards Loren and Gulut with a certain figure behind them. I'm assuming just floating casually.
I don't know whether Loren at all acknowledges the other presence. Gulut doesn't.
But for you guys, as you watch Loren and Gulut kind of come up the ramp and like a little beacon behind them, the Bayamax in his emo gear floats. You see Loren very purposely not noticing it. Like, she is making a point to be so chill, which is probably not helping Alton right now. But as they kind of crest onto the ship, she's like, and what are you lot talking about?
Oh, Gulut and Loren, we were talking about something completely unrelated. Alton's feeling mildly concerned. Isn't that relatable? Big
Very,
dream.
very hashtag relatable, Dad. No, so we're in a weird situation. This is, sorry, I have to pause here. I think we have a new friend.
Oh yeah, that's Dave.
Sorry.
Great, fantastic. What exactly is that? Why is it here?
Oh, you ran away. This is being a Zoidar. I'm sure you know what that is already. But it's a being of fate and whim, and it thinks we're all pretty neat. It's sort of a little bit, kind of like Rue. And apparently it's just wandered around the moon for 1,000 years. But we've rocked up and now it's decided it wants to change of scenery. So, and she looks back at it and goes, welcome to the change of scenery. Just kind of gestures. She just kind of gestures for it to go further onto the ship. She has not let go of Gulut's hand. She's just kind of standing to the side a little bit with it and just looking at you all.
It starts just hovering around the deck of the ship.
Oh, that's ominous.
Yes,
sir. Alright, no, that's all good.
Oh, fantastic. You enjoy your time here. We have a wonderful time here. Lot of wonderful things to watch. Great. Just have a party. Ugh.
It's sort of a, well, I mean, did you feel at any point like a sort of magical like rush wash over you? Like, you know, like a gentle wave raising across the skin. Well, the god all gave us a bone. You weren't there for that bit.
Yeah, I felt that. Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
no, very normal, very chill, very fine. I'm sure we're all not compartmentalizing right now. But yeah, and this guy just wants to hang out, just wants to vibe, wants to party. Clearly, where its fate lies.
I think at that moment, Gulut drops Loren's hand, not in a like impolite way or anything, but it strides forward. And I think around now is when, if you hadn't noticed before, the rest of you notice the way that it's moving is distinctly more human than it was, in a way that makes you feel a little bit sick, because it still looks like that and it still moves wrong. But when you see something that looks wrong that starts moving like a human, it feels disturbing. And
Cool,
it
so this is like a
walks
dog
forward. Yeah, sorry. Like a dog that's on its hind legs, yes.
Yeah, just the dog has decided to start walking like a taxpayer. Yep. That's
Pretty
very
much.
cursed analogy, thank you.
That's exactly the distinct feeling that I had in mind. But it walks forward to where you are, Alton, and it's staring at you, still expressionless as it was, hovering above you as it is standing at its full height, which it very rarely does. And I think it stares at you for a long moment. Do you say anything? Do you do anything? Do you react in any way?
I think Alton would be like, he'd kind of like startle a bit by being quite jumpy right now. Yeah, I guess we'll say anything immediately, just kind of like scowl for a second and kind of like look Gulut over for a second.
Gulut, Gulut stares at Alton for a moment, and I think in its eyes you see some form of, for lack of a better term, because it is sentient, it always is sentient, but this sentience, this facet of awareness and curiosity as it looks at you, painted with something else, and then you see that glaze back over, and just a thud as it falls to all fours in front of you again. Not so much in a like it is collapsed sort of way, but just heavy are its bones. And almost like that didn't happen, and everyone saw this happen. Almost like that didn't happen, Galut walks into the ship and to its quarters.
See, Buddy's got the right idea. Compartmentalize, don't think about it, move on emotionally. That's really normal and fine and cool.
Yeah, that's it. No, absolutely. That's the way to live currently.
Yeah, no, so it's worked out great.
Just for 1 minute, we just met a god. We met a god, and its roommate is on our ship. That's I've asked that guy in the house on the moon. I've asked him before to bring me like really big fish when I was fishing, because I was only catching little ones. I've asked him several times if like, you know, a hair color was gonna look good on me. Like, one time I couldn't find my keys, and I was like, oh, Loomis, help me find my keys, and he's real! Well, I knew he was real, but he's here. He's on the moon. He's on the moon. We're on the moon, and he's on the moon. I need to compartmentalize again. I don't think brains are meant to handle this information.
Yeah, no, I think there's so many stories about mortals going mad with knowledge and things like that, really. It's...
Yeah, that's why you try to avoid that. No, I get you. I mean, he used to dedicate every invention to Ineth, and then that moved on to instead. And then they start talking back, and that's when everything gets fucked up. No, yes, glad to see. But some of us, you can see the gravity of the situation.
You know, Alton, I know we all just spoke to a god, and Galut did sort of just meet, like, its boss.
Yeah.
I feel like your experiences here are a little un-universal. Would you want to talk about that?
I mean, not especially. No, it really doesn't. I don't think I can have anything that can help anyone.
No, fair. It just seems like it may help you to just kind of...
Yeah, sometimes talking helps.
No, in my experience, no, not really. And that's like really open-ended too. Like if there's anything like specific, then I can answer questions. Like that's really, really open-ended.
Loren just kind of nods at this, and then is going to make very distinct and purposeful eye contact with Fishman. And she's just gonna kind of look at him, and then her brow's gonna furrow a little. I would actually like to insight check him super quickly, if I could. Ooh, my god, that's a 10.
I'll be completely honest, and I'm sorry. I've been finding it very hard to concentrate. I have no idea what's happening right now.
That is
That's
okay.
fair.
That is okay.
Could I get a little rundown? Sorry, please.
Okay. Alton is just freaking out about all the god stuff. And Galut has gone off to its room. Loren was mostly just looking to see if Fishman is feeling any particular type of way about talking to the god, or if he's feeling any particular type of way about Alton freaking out.
Cool. Yeah, cool. We can cut back into it right about now. So for that, you can tell he's pretty concerned, but not necessarily for himself, but in kind of an understanding way. Like, he might know why this is justified, why Alton is acting this way. That's about it, though. That's as much as you keep. But yeah, he doesn't turn to look at you. He's just watching Alton and see how they behave.
Alton is like still like, he's like very distressed. He's overwhelmed. He's just kind of like, do I say my whole life story? Like, what is like that? What does it mean by that question? And also now isn't the time. Running in his head.
Okay. Loren kind of looks between Alton and Fishman, and then just kind of furrows her brow a little bit. Then she just goes, okay, I know I'm not the captain, but so I'm throwing a suggestion into the suggestion bucket here. The first suggestion, we should get a suggestion bucket.
I like suggestions. That's fine.
Good. I think potentially we should take a little 5-minute breather and then potentially discuss what just happened, because I feel like we're all a little overwhelmed, and I think a couple people need to squeeze a stress ball until it explodes.
Sure. Yes, that's a good idea. Wasn't meant to be a formal meeting anyway. Take a breather, everyone. He just nods, and then he, in fact, will move to stride off, but he'll pause momentarily butt next to Fishman, and just incline his head slightly to his side and go, any sign of the things we're looking for room, for the doctor?
Not that I'm aware of.
And hopefully we've already got it. He inclines his eyes pointedly towards the strange little creature that is following us now. Or it will make itself apparent soon. Hopefully it was not a lost cause.
Whilst I do understand that there are similarities between Rue and this, I would like to know for certain. And until then, I'd like to keep on looking. I don't want to close off our options.
We have no reason to travel further until we are certain. Speak later. And then he nods and will continue to wander out. Almost sort of like pointedly so that like Alton can behave in whatever way he wants to because he's getting the vibe.
I think Alton would momentarily look kind of panicked at Loren's suggestion, and like as Dennis says, be like, "Oh fuck, I don't know." And just like, look, not happy about that.
Then Loren now, can I just get a vibe check? Can I just get a vibe check on the bros on the deck? Yeah. Everyone. I would like to insight check all the homies, actually. Which I believe at this point is Alton, Neris, and Fishman. That's a 14. What are y'all's vibes?
I'll give myself disadvantage, jeez. Okay, I'll have someone to 14. Alton is obviously like very distressed, very on edge, very shaken by what's happened. It's just, I guess, I can't remember how much you know about Alton, but like in his relationship with like deities and stuff, but he obviously has a lot of fear towards them. You might see it as like, it's like triggered some sort of anxiety response. He also, possibly because he's quite jumpy, possibly from something else, he seemed upset at being the one like holding everyone back and seemed a bit like worried and was looking after Janice.
Right.
And with Fishman, you've been with them for the past, I'm not sure how long it's been at this point, but quite some time. And you know that Fishman was acting quite strangely beforehand, quite emotionally exhausted. That hasn't changed. He's not reacting how he normally would. But you can probably tell it's because there's a lot on his mind, and he's long past his limit. Which for him it doesn't really show, so it's funny. But you can probably tell with the way he speaks.
Yeah. Okay. Neris?
Neris is attempting to portray that he's in control of whatever situation is happening. Where he's looking at this new creature that's come on board. He's examining the ship itself, trying to get an idea on if we're ready to leave, if there's anything that needs to be done maintenance-wise. His left hand is shaking, and he's tried to hide that in his robes. But other than that, his face doesn't betray anything.
When was the last time any of y'all had a nap?
I mean, I was having a lovely one a little while ago.
Before we went to the moon.
It's been much too long.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you all. I just feel like anything I say is gonna either rile you all up emotionally or make me seem callous.
You?
Loren pulls the meanest face at Neris. So, I guess what I'm trying to say and be self-aware of here, would anyone like to talk, or would everyone like to have a bit of alone time to think? Alone time doesn't mean you have to go off and be alone and we're all just going to be loners in our rooms crying or whatever. I'm just saying, do I need to be here? Or am I just making things way worse right now?
You stay, Lou. It's fine.
Right. Cool.
You're asking how we are. What about yourself? Do you need a nap?
I needed a nap about 5 days ago, I think. But, no, I think, I just don't know what to do right now. I think this is my limit, actually. I think this is the end of it. I think this is where I'm at. Weird.
Neris, do we have a direction that we might want to go. Personally, I'd like to talk about where we will be going so that I can process things here and right now. Because right now, honestly, feeling quite lost here in space.
Neris has opened his mouth to answer that question, and then when Fishman continues to talk, he closes his mouth, and there's a bit of a pause, and then he looks back up again, with a little bit of like a gleam in his eye, and he's a little bit straighter of back, and he puts his hands behind his back as he stands and he looks at you, Fishman, and he looks at everyone in their eyes. Says, our objective stays the same. Nothing has changed from this encounter. We are still on the quest to reunite ourselves with Rue, and we will continue, as captained by Janus, on that path. We have been given multiple leads. We have what could turn out to be an incredible guide and ally who has joined us in our quest. We have received a great boon from a great god, and I believe that we are fully ready for this, and we will continue and we will do an incredible job as we have done in everything that we have done before.
Well said, but also indirect. What I also mean is, do we intend to keep on seeing god after god, citadel after citadel?
I don't know
about
as far as I'm
aware, and I'm sorry, nurse. As far as I'm aware, those are the only leads we have.
We will find a way. We will find a path. I have no intention of meeting every god on this plane. That one was enough, I think. But we are also aware that not all of the beacons lead to the home of a god. Perhaps now that we have done some research and we have investigated one, we know what to look for, we know what to keep an eye out for, we know what to avoid, and with a small period of nap time, it may just clear our minds enough to get a new direction. I'm aware that is still not the answer that you're looking for, Fishman.
Merely what I'm hinting at is, if we are to be door knocking on these citadels, I'm not sure if we are all ready to see, let alone speak, to other gods, and I believe there are some gods who we should not visit whatsoever, nor near. There must be other ways, and whilst we might not know what they are now, I hope that we will soon. And as Fishman said, there are some gods that we definitely should not go near. He did glance over at Alton. But I have no fault in faith for this party. I believe that we are a strong crew who find ourselves in fucked up situations, always in flux, situations always changing, with strange encounters. As he turns towards our new roommate. Personally, I'd like to look more into this one, and I'd like to speak with you about that sooner rather than later. But I'm not sure if this has made anyone's mind come at ease, but some clear direction would certainly help me, and I feel like this has helped me.
Yes, we are. I'm sure our captain is coming up with a plan as we speak, and we will all assist in that.
Does Neris still have a third eye, or is that long gone?
It has faded. However, if you look closely, there is a small dimple.
You've got a dimple on your forehead, Neris. Is that
yes.
you?
Yes, I do, and yes, it is. That is yet another a new discovery that will help us find our next objective. It allows me to see different things.
Dimple.
Not no.
That you see.
No, it's an eye. Well, I mean, it's not. It's a small. It's magic, but it's an eye, sort of, kind of.
Very small eye.
Well,
And like Fishman will like get forwards and like really squint at it.
yeah. Well, it's much bigger when it's like not like you can see it in the morning when the morning light hits. It's quite large, and I think I haven't actually see. I see, but I don't see it. I assume it is quite large and imposing and dramatic. But
Across the conversation, Loren is looking at Alton, and her eyebrows are completely under her fringe as these two talk about something being bigger and grander in the morning.
Alton like meets with the same
Yeah.
expression.
I'm very curious if that was intentional, Mitch.
Yeah, Loren's just looking at Alton like, can you fucking believe this?
Um,
The raised eyebrows out of her mouth, like, yeah, wow.
Loren has been trying to be very insightful and could probably pick up that Fishman is forcing this a little bit, as no one else is really saying much, and he's kind of taking the initiative to have a little bit of relief in the conversation. Is this permanent?
I mean, mildly.
Mildly permanent? What? Something is permanent, or it is not?
Well, yes, it's permanent for as long as I want it to be permanent, and then it is not permanent. It is one of those very exciting new innovations with divination magic, where I can look and see different things at different times, and that allows me to see certain things at certain times in certain places.
Explicitly isn't permanent. That's not what the word means.
Well, yes, when I want it to be, yes.
Temporarily permanent, or permanent temporarily?
No, temporarily permanent, definitely.
Fair enough. So what things does it let you see?
How much do you know of the ethereal plane?
Quite a bit, actually.
Oh, and Neris is kind of a little bit put out about that. Oh, it lets me see that, basically. That's it.
I often use it for a form of my practice. I dabble in planar with a combat. I've got an Eris accent now. With a combat.
It's contagious.
Yes, I use portal techniques myself during combat. It's a unique technique that I've come up with.
I've seen you sort of move around the field.
I
Is that
used
what you
it, I believe one of the first times I fully indulged myself into the practice was when I clubbed your future self in the face.
Yes.
He doesn't say that like threateningly or in any bad way. He's just stating a fact.
Yes, no, I remember that. Very interesting.
Oftentimes I find myself fully in the ethereal plane, and you would be able to see me.
Theoretically, yes.
You are able to see both, then, this plane and the ethereal.
If they are close enough, yes. I believe so. I have not... Yes.
I don't think Fishman has ever seen anything be in the ethereal and the material at the same time. So what would that look like? Or has Neris, Fishman asked, have you seen something in the material and the ethereal plane at the same time?
I'm going to be honest, it's only been here since this morning. But I've also mostly not been looking through that eye. There has been a lot to look at. With my regular eyes today has been a day of sights, but potentially. And Darby, can I focus my ethereal eye and see if I can see anything?
Fishman might even take a step back and gesture towards our new friend.
There is nothing of note on the upon the ethereal plane.
Man, it is incredible. I cannot even explain it. It is too much.
Inside, Fishman is seeing the ethereal, and like, it's cool at first, but then like, really, it's quite a dull experience once you get over the novelty. Are you overhyping this? Is basically what he's asking in insight. With a 16.
That is a 4 deception. 100%. You get a sense that he can see nothing. It is a blank slate.
I don't believe. Is there something here?
There is not, unfortunately. It would be very exciting, but I'm assuming this space is as big in the ethereal plane as it is here, so there would most likely not be anything.
Fishman will like kind of wave an open palm very close to Neris's forehead to see if like the eye reacts, or the dimple reacts, and then goes, interesting. Oh, thank you for explaining, Neris. As he turns to Alton, who looked like they had something to say.
Oh yeah, during this, Alton kind of just like chuckling along at like the more like amusing kind of stuff, and then he kind of like drops out, so it's drifted out of the conversation. Yeah, he will go over to Loren, and just go like, so feeling at the end of the tether. Been there before, enough times. That's how life will get you. But you can't let it win, can you? Of all the good you've done, all the bad you've done, you've got to make it worth it. So keep fucking building that rope. Keep going out of spite, huh?
I've been going out of spite for decades, Alton.
One day I'll get to centuries.
Oh well, you know, Triton lived for 300 years.
Not bad, not bad.
The record's 305. I don't actually know what my lifespan is.
Yeah, that's a good point. You've got all sorts of... I don't know, you got something going on.
They don't know how old Siren are. It's not documented. They say they live for millennia. The oldest stories date back millennia. But we don't know if they're the same Siren or if they have like human lifespans, Triton lifespans, planar touch lifespans, Elven. They don't know.
Of course.
So
Well,
who knows?
maybe. And try to keep some of your more, your smart comments in. We'll get to see how long the lifespan is. Document it.
I'm not sure this life's worth documenting, but thank you. Are you... Look, I'm sorry about all that back there. We all just kind of got caught up in the whole thing. Do you need, I don't know, one of those little, like, fancy bubble wraps or something? Do you just need something to help you reconnect with your body, like chill out? Or are you, like, is listening to them talk about Neris's dimple looking bigger in the morning, like, really helping you de-stress right now?
Oh, well, I mean, no, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I'll look favor some more machinery projects or something. Tends to be the way to do it.
No, it's good. It's good.
Why do you use the little fantasy bubble wrap when you're trying to fight off this side and stuff?
No, this is gonna sound, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna sound, actually, until I say it. Janice taught me, little phrases to say to help me calm down. What I used to do was just sort of, scream at myself, don't be a failure, and then that would mostly work, but it's kind of stopped working. And then the ex-captain she'd talked me out of it, that we don't have her anymore, which I'm fine about. So Janice taught me a couple of things, so that's how I'm kind of getting through it, chugging along, being a trooper.
That's great, you've got to keep chugging along. I'd say the phrases thing has ever helped me much, but you've got to find what works best for you.
You do.
Right.
Hey, no, you go. I want to hear what the DM has to say.
Okay. Who is on deck at the moment?
I believe it's everyone bar Galush and Janice, I think.
Okay. So those of you on deck would notice the eyes of the Zodar begin to glow, right? And everyone, even those below deck, would telepathically hear the following phrase in their native tongue. So whether that be common, elvish, whatever it may be. A storm approaches from behind the veil. The champion ascends as the citadel falls. A moment of divergent paths is upon us. And its eyes resume its normal level of glow.
Oh.
Did we?
Why did
Yes.
we talk?
Loren's gonna go find Janice.
Fisherman's going to run up to the crow's nest and start looking around.
Roll me a perception check, Fishman. Okay. Loren, here you Yep. So you are running to Janice. Where do you look first?
The helm.
The helm? Is that where Loren would find you, Janice, or would it take a little longer?
It'd take a little longer, unfortunately. But I guess for simplicity's sake, he's actually in his room for a moment. But he was already getting up. So he sort of opens the door as she checks. Because he was sort of like striding out with intent to do something else. And behind him, Loren sees a setup of like a little construction setup of some rune stones. And he just nods at them. And then it's like, what? Is it a ghost?
Did you hear that in your think pen? Did you hear that?
No. What?
The creature just spoke to us. It said one of its 3 things. It'll say in its lifetime.
Out on the deck. What? Speak.
In our brains, it said a storm approaches from behind the veil, a champion ascends as the citadel falls, and a moment of divergent paths is upon us.
Is there any signs of anything else?
I came to get you and maybe Gold. We need... I was
just about to speak to it. All right. Well, we should see if there's any danger first. No point. Yes.
So back at Crow's Nest, Fishman, what was your perception check?
29.
29. Okay. Oh, so you see, coming from Fierlor, as you can see it in the distance, this small blue circle with patches of green and brown and white where the land masses and the atmosphere are. You see a little black in it that grows and grows, and as it grows further and further, it begins to take shape, and you begin to see sparks of light and energy surrounding it, and you make out as it is approaching the figure of a ship, a somewhat familiar ship, black as it was, rejuvenated, the Red Phoenix with a strange energy surrounding it, and it is approaching.
Yeah, Fishman will use the earpiece. The Red Phoenix is here. If we have weapons, we'd best arm them now.
Jonas' eyes connect with Loren. He's just like, go, get ready. Do you need a moment?
We don't have one. I'm going. Sorry. Yes,
okay,
Captain.
good Lord. And he runs off.
She runs off.
Well, he runs down like 4 rooms or something like that, because it's not a very big ship. But yes, imagine what's everyone else's immediate stuff.
The Red Phoenix is approaching. Was that ascending to everyone?
As ascending to everyone.
Okay. Then Neris is going to look at Alton, who I think is the only one left on the deck.
Yeah. He's like getting his pistols ready.
Well,
Right. What are we doing?
I believe initially panicking, but then we will handle it as we always do. We've got this.
Yeah, we got this. We've beaten them before.
That's another time.
Yeah, just a little fight.
More fight. Okay. Let's find out what this thing can do. And Neris is going to run to the helm.
Okay.
Janice, when you reach Golut's room, the door is ajar, and there is... At first, you may panic and think it's smoke until you realize there is a thick fog of incense throughout the room. And when you see Golut, it is kneeling in front of its burner, its incense burner, which is among its belongings. You may have just saw it as a trinket or something that was hanging from it before, but you very quickly notice that it's one of its belongings. And it turns and sees you as you approach, and it's kneeling in front of this burner. I think when it turns its face to you, you see lines tracking from underneath its eyes. And for a moment, I don't know what passes over your face, but you see Galut look back at you, and with the gift given to it by its god, it sends you an image. For the briefest moment, you see an image of a paw shaking another paw, and what Janice would recognize as the glorious fight.
Janice sort of does like a momentarily like pause in time, just like momentarily reel back. And he has already looked, his face is stricken with that sort of intense primal need to act, but also that another glint of concern that he has had since this confirmation was had of Gulut's past and what it was and what it is. But when he receives this message,
Sorry, no, you go.
When he receives this message, that expression again changes to that steely sort of steely resolve, and he nods.
Lut does not say anything and follows you.
Warrior.
Burner still burning.
And even regardless, even though Gulut gets up to move anyway, regardless, with that incense burner drifting like down the hallway, Janice faces it like he does all of his comrades. He says, "Warrior, I am sorry to bring bad tidings, but we believe that he is here. Perhaps it is time to gain your retribution. 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is here." And then he turns and runs down the hallway to rejoin the deck of the ship.
It follows.
Also, that's just telepathy is a feat. But
that's sick! That's cool! Gulut can communicate a little bit more. Yes.
Darby didn't give me any extra special thing except for the thing he gave all of you. Don't worry.
That's valid.
I know you're probably wanting to talk about the combat starting, but can Fishman also send how far away would Loomis have been from our ship? Would you say? Just approximately.
Not too
Message
far.
Distance.
What?
Message distance? 120?
Yeah, probably within that.
Quick message to Loomis, please. I'm sure you might already be aware, but the champion of Conrad may very well be here. You may be the target.
Thank you for the warning. I will brace myself for whatever may come. Okay?
That's it.
So, can I get everyone to roll for initiative as the Red Phoenix makes its way towards you? Okay, so I can see Alton got 24, Fishman got 20. So, Loren.
As Loren is standing on the deck of the ship, she looks out and sees the familiar sails of the Red Phoenix coming towards her. And there's this moment of pause and fear as she thinks, I can't do this. And then she says, there's like this wave of Loomis's energy and a crackling down the Aquarius tattoo on her arm. She goes, no, I can do this. I use my first use of lucky to give myself advantage because I rolled a 2. So that is instead a 16 for my initiative.
All right. Neris.
Neris got a 24.
Okay.
19 for Janice.
Lovely. And Galut. 15. All right. So top of initiative is Alton. So yeah, the ship is coming towards your ship, and it's got this sort of crackling and sort of gaseous energy surrounding it as well.
Well, there's not much I can do. I guess he'll like load his pistols, and then just kind of call out to Janice. Captain, orders?
Janice slides onto the deck within that moment. It's like, we repel invaders as always. Otherwise, we try to keep our distance. We do not know what they have. We do not know what they've changed.
Right, I'll fire at first sight then. And I guess he'll just hold an action to shoot anyone who comes out of that ship.
Okay. Next is Neris.
So at the helm of the Spirited Gull, I'm able to see a little bit more, yes?
Yes.
Something that Loren mentioned has just sort of triggered in Neris's brain on this creature is similar to Rue, potentially. Is this Zadar creature, this Zadar entity, with my vision that I can see, is this a creature of animancy?
Not as far as you can tell.
Okay, perfect. In that case, what weapon systems do we have on the Spirited Gull?
Okay, so I believe you were able to poach a cannon from if memory serves, or did you not end up poaching that from Alton's brother's workshop?
I can't remember if we took it.
I don't think there was any way to take it, yeah.
Otherwise, there would be an arcane cannon that, because of the nature of the ship, that it's probably a bit more directional than the cannons would be in a traditional sea vessel. So I would say that is probably able to emerge from under the ship and rotate around to wherever you need to shoot at it.
Excellent.
So it utilizes the spelljammer, the spelljammer's so spellcasting modifier as it's to hit, and it does a number of d10 damage equal to your proficiency bonus, and it does force damage.
Perfect. Are we close enough to make out distinct rooms or the direction of the ship that is coming towards us, the Red Phoenix? Can we essentially identify and target the helm?
I'd say at disadvantage, potentially, as it is getting closer.
That's fair. We'll just aim for a shot. Can the Spirited Gull surge into life, maneuver itself directly over the top of the Red Phoenix so that we're out of their range, and then shoot directly down?
Yeah, you can do that. All right. So roll to hit.
That is a 16 on the die. What am I adding with this?
So your intelligent, or basically your spellcasting bonus.
My spellcasting modifier or my spell attack?
Your spellcasting attack.
Then that is a 27.
27. Okay, so you handily hit the Red Phoenix. That will be 4d10.
That is 21 force damage.
Okay, nice.
And then I would like to, if there is any movement left with the Spirited Gull, move up is weird in space. Above the direction of the Red Phoenix.
Okay.
So that we're trying to stay far away, keeping out of their range.
All right. Right. So, yeah, you get a little bit up, but as you've used movement to get close to it, you're not able to get too far into it. There's a bit of a gap. So next is 𝗔𝗦𝗧, who is at this point going to get onto the deck and go like, what even is going on? We have a new guest, I take it, and it spoke in our heads.
Yeah, I forgot you were taking a nap. Sorry, lots of stuff to catch up with on. We're being attacked again by the same people.
Oh, joy. Oh, joy. All right. And he is going to cast. He's going to cast Bless on. Who is probably going to. So on you, Janice, Alton, and Loren.
Aw, bless.
Right. Okay. Next is the Fishman.
Fishman was going to use a message to contact 𝗔𝗦𝗧, but he won't do that anymore. Circumstances have changed. So instead, he might just try and buff himself. Armor of Agathis. He'll use that. As ice starts forming around him, very familiar sight. And then bonus action. I'm not sure really if there's much he can do actually. So yeah, I guess he can't do anything.
Okay.
That's it.
Next is Janice.
Man, I don't think there's much you can do. So because we're still kind of at the moon right now as well.
Yeah,
I don't think we've actually flown away yet.
Well,
We've just sort of,
Neris
docked a little bit away.
Yeah, Neris flew you a little bit away, but yeah, you're still in reasonably close proximity.
I do. Sorry, I'll cut this out. I'm just trying to find out what I can do because I don't have anything that's long range. I don't know how the ship works. I guess Janice will sort of like hunker down a little bit the second that he kind of like takes stock of everything, looks around to each member, and then is like, alright, stand fast, stand tall, we shall get through this. If they are to be attacking us head on, then good. We shall find a way to repel the invaders. We must make special care of this citadel. If we suspect this may happen, that we may be beating them to the punch. We need to make sure that punch never happens. If anyone needs assistance, you have my aid. And he's just going to, he will just help. He'll ready in action to help anyone that seems to need assistance, I suppose, or it seems to be struggling, I guess. If I can do that, if it looks like a character has to do a difficult role, has to do a role to do something, I'll just let him help with that in any way that he can.
Alright. Next is Loren.
Okay, who can we see on the deck? Like, if I peek my little head over the edge, can I see anyone on the deck, or is everyone below deck on the Phoenix?
So I would say there are two figures on the deck. One familiar, one unfamiliar. Familiar one is Eclipse. The unfamiliar one is similar in some ways to Eclipse. It is a mechanized form, by the looks of things. It seems reminiscent of a suit of armor with a skull at the top where the head should be.
This is an out of character moment, but if Exley has brought a new prime to this fight, I'm gonna scream.
The skull, though.
Is it a
It's
black
gotta
skull
be.
with a ruby eye, Darby?
Yes.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you dead. I'm gonna transcend
Hi, Mitch.
this computer.
Mitch has just run out of the
Mitch
studio.
slammed his headset down and ran away. He's still not back either.
Okay.
I think he's gone, guys.
I guess you're gonna make me have another one of my characters attack a prime. So, okay, Loren looks down and she sees Exley and what I, Zoe, know to be Prime, in a little cute outfit. And there's a moment of relief that Cerise is not there. And then she steals herself and summoning magic from... Are they within 120 feet of us? I need to check that.
Yes.
Cool. So the orb on her staff swirls and the magic kind of sparks down her arm, up her shoulder, through the veins in her neck and up to her forehead, and then shoots down onto the deck of the Red Phoenix, her old home, and that is synaptic static. I need both of them to make an intelligence saving throw. And they need to beat a 19.
So I did roll a 19 on the dice for Prime, but it does have a negative to its intelligence save, so it doesn't make it.
Beautiful.
I believe Exley has advantage on this because magical effect. Still didn't roll great. He doesn't have the greatest mod to intelligence save. What was the DC?
19.
Yeah, no, that fails.
Beautiful. Thank you. So they both take 24 points of psychic damage. I re-rolled this. And they have muddled thoughts for 1 minute. So as this damage enters their minds, they feel their... Exley's an automaton with a soul. So he probably feels like just all the wires and connections held together by magic in his brain glitch slightly. So during the next minute, every roll he makes that is an attack roll, an ability check, or a con saving throw to maintain concentration on anything, subtract a d6 from that.
Okay.
You make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
Okay.
It ends on a success.
All right. So, actually, crime is unaffected, because it has an intelligence score lower than 2.
That's fine. I was mostly focusing on Exley. So, Prime's Prime. Prime's just bopping along with the skull on its head.
Yeah.
Exley would feel that magical glitching through his big metal head. And yeah, subtract the d6 from everything. And then that's, oh boy, we have not taken a long rest, huh? And then I would like to quicken spell 2 sorcery points. And I know we're within 120 feet. Are we within 60 feet?
Just out of, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, no, you would be, because, yeah, you wouldn't have had enough movement to get beyond 60 feet left of the ship.
Okay, cool. Then Loren is going to quicken spell a Ray of Frost.
Okay.
And that is going to be a 27 to hit.
Okay, lovely. That will certainly hit.
Yep. And I can add Bless to damage rolls, correct? Oh, no, just attack rolls or saving throws. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll save it for a saving throw. So that is, for me right now, 3d8 of cold damage. I'm going to pick my coldest looking dice. Did I say who I was aiming that for? I was aiming it at Prime.
Okay.
Yep, I'm aiming that at Prime, so Prime is going to take 11 points of cold damage.
All right.
And its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Okay.
And that is everything I can do.
Yeah. Okay. So next,
Actually,
Oh, yeah.
I'll quickly butt in because I realised that when the ship was manoeuvred and you can see Exley and Prime, that was sort of held action.
Yeah. All right. You can take your
Excellent.
shots.
Yeah, so he would immediately try to go train sights, trying to pick between the targets and focus on Exley. And he's going to do 2 shots towards them. So we are within 60 feet, you said?
Yep.
Fantastic. Alrighty, so the first one to hit will be like a 30 to hit.
Yeah, definitely hits.
Fantastic. So that is not too good. That is 9 points of piercing damage. And for the next shot, he is going to do a, what's it called? I think a dazing shot. Yeah, so we're going to try to do a dazing shot. So if I hit this, he's going to have to make a con saving throw. Oh, yeah.
Can I just double check what was the damage on the first one?
Yeah, you can. I can look in the history. 9 points of damage. Yes.
Okay.
Excellent. And so the next one to hit, this is with a dazing shot, is another 30 to hit.
Okay. Wow.
All right. So make a DC 17 con saving throw.
Okay.
I feel like he's going to be pretty good at that, actually.
So that is only a 15.
Oh, fantastic. So Exley is going to suffer disadvantage on attacks until the end of their next turn.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right.
And then that one does, not great, 8 points of piercing damage.
All right. Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay. So next is the so Exley. It's not his turn, but it is something else's turn that I'm gonna flavor what thing he's gonna say with this. As his mind is a little muddled, but he's still somewhat present. He says, release the storm upon them and venture forth towards the citadel. And as he says that, the storm, the energy surrounding the Red Phoenix ascends upwards towards the spirited gull, this astral tempest raising up to meet you as a ship. And it is going to it is going to use its lightning storm action, or its astral storm action, sorry. So I'm going to need everyone that is on the deck to make me a dexterity saving throw.
20 for Janice.
Okay.
Natural 19.
And for Glut.
Alton got a 10 and that was a nat 1.
That one for Fishman. So that's a 8 total.
Yeah. Loren?
Once again, because Loren's tattoo is actually a tattoo that bumps her dexterity, she sees this storm coming, and her natural ability to like sense storms tries to kick in. Her tattoo flashes one star at a time up her whole arm. I also used my bless on this one because it saves ability thing. So that becomes a 16 dex save.
Okay.
Wait. I'm gonna use lucky.
Yeah. And Neris, in the meantime?
Neris is in the helm.
Oh,
which
yes, he
inside
is.
the
So
ship.
you are not affected.
And Neris is also. Oh, sorry.
Alton, what was...
That is still a 10.
Okay.
Neris is going to use a charge from his divine orb as his eyes are essentially closed, sitting in this chair, not reacting to anything. This orb in his satchel begins to glow, and that is going to allow a reroll for Alton.
Can I roll a third, not 1? So that's a 6, which makes
Oh,
11. Do I get blessings? I can only use it like once.
No, bless is
every
as long as
single
the spell remains concentrated on.
Oh, sweet. That makes it a 15.
15. Okay. So
I was a sidebar say like Janice was waiting to help people, but he wasn't expecting this. He uses all of his time to right himself as much as he can while as this onslaught washes over us.
Okay.
Like it's just repeatedly dodging the lightning, but dodging into other lightning.
Yeah, because I just like assume he's not anywhere near like Alton or Fishman, so I can't really help them.
All right. So, so no one saved. Janice was the closest. The DC was 21. Now, so I believe I'm trying to think who got a 17. So 17 or higher. So Janice and Glut, I think, were the only ones to get 17 or higher. Or did I mishear Glut?
Glut did not get a 17 or
Okay,
higher.
so Janice was the only one. Okay, so everyone takes 26 points of lightning damage, or half for those who have resistance, which I think is just Loren. Maybe Janice. Maybe Fishman at this point. I can't remember.
Yeah. Janice has resistance too, yeah.
Potential
lightning
spoiler
damage?
for some.
Wait, yes, actually.
Yeah.
Never mind.
From your armor. Yeah. Yeah, just like. And those who failed the save by 5 or more, so everyone but Janice, is flung off the side of the ship. And that's the Astral Tempests go. Glut, you notice something different to how Valen's body was just sent off the side of the ship. Instead of falling and drifting away, you are probably about 10 feet out from the ship's edge, but you are floating there in space. Can you tell me, what is your intelligence score?
Glut's intelligence score is 13.
13. So, while you are floating in astral space, you have a speed of 39. You have a fly speed.
Sorry.
You have a fly speed of 39, which in practice is a fly speed of 35. In fact, everyone, while in astral space, has a fly speed equivalent to their intelligence score times by 3.
Okay. Is it Galut's turn? Is that why you addressed Galut first?
Yes.
Okay. Where it was flung, is that anywhere near Loren?
I'll say yes.
Okay. Because there's two things it wants to do. However, also how far away is the Red Phoenix?
The Red Phoenix is probably about 50, 60 feet down. Yeah.
That's doable. Okay, and the others. So in this moment, 𝗖𝗦 has been pushed by this lightning out into the astral plane, and I think in a moment where others may panic, being plunged into an unknown depth is almost like slipping into a warm bath for it. This is familiar territory, and its chest doesn't rise or fall. It doesn't seem panicked at all. It just takes stock of what's around it. Its companions that have been flung from the ship, what state are they in? Are they still in the bubble? Can they breathe?
No one has
What
been
can it
flung.
see?
Yeah. So no one seems to have been flung far enough to be outside of the bubble.
Okay.
I take it no one is so severely damaged that they are unconscious yet. And in fact, the
Beautiful.
fact that most of the creatures being hit by it have lightning resistance or have a decent chunk of hit points to begin with, like no one's in a seriously bad state as of yet.
It flies to Loren. It reaches out to Loren, and Loren, you feel it touch gently on your shoulder. Its eyes assess you for a moment, as if to check that you are still okay and you are still breathing, and you feel the wrong nothingness of its touch as it bleeds over you for a moment, and you feel your skin kind of start to form this layer, this crackling and this toughness, and the parts of 𝗖𝗦 where it seems a little bit too tough and a little bit too burnt out, where flesh has come away, that similar rigidity covers your skin as it casts bark skin on you. You have an AC now of 16, and I will check how long that is for. Probably should have thought of that before I cast it. But that's what it does, and then it's going to move out of the bubble towards the Red Phoenix and use the rest of its movement for that. But you've got that for up to an hour. So, or it's concentration. Is it concentration if it's Mistforged Claw still?
Yes.
Cool. It's concentration. So, unless 𝗖𝗦 loses concentration, you've basically got it for the next hour. Looks a little bit fucked. Apologies.
Which I do need to double check 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧's concentration on Bless. It is fine. He's saved on the. He was the one person who's saved on the initial save, and so not a lot of damage. Plus, he's got a good chunky con. So Bless is still up. All right. So, so that's all from 𝗖𝗦. Then we have the 𝗖𝗔𝗦, which didn't save on its dex save, and is just floating there. Off the side of the ship, and is just slowly meandering back towards the ship. Then next we have the Red Phoenix, and you see underneath you, 𝗖𝗦, as you are traversing towards the Red Phoenix. It ventures past underneath you and towards the Citadel, and as 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 and Prime, somewhat clumsily given their mind states at the moment, or 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧's mind state at the moment, head towards the edge of the ship to disembark towards the Citadel, and you see as a number of undead march onto the deck. And that is where we're going to leave it for this week.
Gang,
One little battle floating
It's
in
all
space.
gone very poorly.
this is going on.
Thank
Please
you.
let us know what you're
I
thinking.
have certain words. I
Like,
could-
subscribe. We'll see you all next
Yes.
week.
Thank you for
Thank you
listening
so
to
much for
this, guys.
supporting us.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I
Sorry.
This is going to be an interesting map to kind of translate what's going on.
And all
Yeah,
of
have
you have
fun.
been thrown off the ship except for me. Oh, and Neresby's hiding his little hidey hole, so who cares?
I'm doing an important job, thank you.
Yeah, hiding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very important. You're welcome.
Oh.
Without me, no one would be hiding, and that would be just like not okay.